Hello, Spanish 2 students. I am doing lecture 1 for week 4 for episodio 10. And here are our objectives. Our objectives are as follows. We will be working on inviting someone to go out with you or hang out with you. We'll also be practicing asking for details like what time, when, where, and you also have to practice either accepting the invitation or rejecting the invitation. And finally, you should be able to explain why you can or you can't make it to the invitation. Okay, so I listened and watched your videos in YouTube. And here is a quick note on pronunciation. It always goes a long way if you practice just a little bit. So I'm going to talk about the vowel sounds in Spanish. These are very, very important. We have our 5 vowels here, just like in English. And in Spanish, the one really cool thing, and it helps so much when you're learning how to read, is the fact that the way you write Spanish is going to be the same way you read it. But the vowels are very important. So we have A, E, I, O, U. These vowels are always going to make these sounds. These are called pure sounds, and that means that these sounds will always sound the same no matter what. Just the same 5 sounds. And I know it's a little bit hard because in English we have about 16 vowel sounds, which makes it very difficult when you're learning Spanish probably. So if you look at these words in English, all of these are going to sound a little bit different, even though they have the same vowel A. Okay, so there are also combinations of vowels, and these are called diphthongs. These are just 2 sounds combining. So in Spanish, all the vowels will always make a sound, so make sure that if you have 2 vowels together, they are making their own sound. Okay, this is very important. So here's a way you can practice your vowel sounds. You can combine whatever consonants you want and the vowels. So you can do ma, me, mi, mo, mu, pa, pe, pi, po, pu. And you can maybe use the consonants in your name, or you can use consonants that you have trouble with, so you can practice both at the same time. Just make sure they make a sound. We're going to be using stem-changing verbs this week, and the one thing with pronunciation and stem-changing verbs is that they use a lot of diphthongs. So here are some of the verbs that you'll be using, and they all have obviously vowel sounds, but they also have a lot of diphthongs. So make sure that every single vowel makes a sound. Here's some practice. So you can just go through these. Look at the yellow that I highlighted for you, and those are going to be the diphthong sounds. So ie, ue, ue, ue. So those are pretty much it. So you can go ahead and go through them, and then you can say quiero, puedo, empiezo, entiendo, piensa, prefiero, vienes, almuerzo, duermo, encuentro, juego, puedo, recuerdo. Okay, so you can pause the video, practice them. You can do whatever you need. And I think if you try to use Google Translate, there's a little sound icon, and it will read them for you as well. Another thing that I want you to work on is the Q sound. We have the P sound, which sounds pretty much like in English, but then we have this QU combination. It's always going to sound like a K, like a K, okay? So one thing you can do is you can do tongue twisters in Spanish. Take your time. You can rewrite this in the way it sounds to you, but it'll help. So I'm going to go ahead and read this for you. You can follow along and then try to practice it a couple of times, and you can go ahead and pause the video. Poquito a poquito, Paquito empaca poquitas copitas en pocos paquetes. Okay, and here's the second one. ¿Cómo quieres que te quiera si el que quiero que me quiera no me quiere como quiero que me quiera. Okay? So you can try to read them slowly or try to, go for it and stumble. It's fine. But again, the Q and the U are always going to make K sound in Spanish. They never sound like qua. Okay, so if you saw the documents in the folder, I put two things. I put flashcards from Quizlet, and these flashcards basically have the verb querer in conjugation, like yo quiero, tú quieres. And this is just for a way for you to really pick up this verb and learn it by heart, because this is going to be very important. The second one is word order, and it's just basically going to give you pieces of a sentence that have the conjugation of the verb querer, and you kind of just arrange them to form the sentence correctly. They also have a translation in English and some pictures to kind of help you understand what's going on. If you don't feel super comfortable with sentences, I strongly recommend you to work on this, and you can actually have an easy level or increase the difficulty. Okay, so let's say you did review these flashcards. You can go ahead, pause the video, and you can complete these sentences with the correct conjugation of the verb querer. So go ahead, grab a piece of paper, read the sentences slowly, and fill these out, and we'll look at the answers later on. All right, and you should have finished these by now, and we will check the answers in a moment for these. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Okay, so this is a really good time to look at grammar point page, grammar point 1 in page 231 and 232. These are going to be stem changing verbs, and you can do this before or after this explanation. Okay, so we're going to talk about stem changing verbs. We talked about them last week. I believe you guys saw a video of the boot, and basically the boot just means that the stem will change in the verbs that are here and here, but not on the verbs here. And you can kind of see that I kind of made these verbs, aka the boot, a little bit darker, and left these just the same background. So querer and poder are going to be two verbs we'll be using this week. Querer means to want, to do something, or to desire something, and poder means to be able to. So I can or I cannot, right? So we have yo, we are going to have querer. This E is going to change to IE, and then we have the ER ending conjugations that you guys already know. So yo quiero, tú quieres, usted, él, ella quiere, nosotros queremos, vosotros queréis. Notice the stem doesn't change in nosotros and vosotros, but the endings are still there. Ustedes, ellos, ellas quieren. So these are some things that you can kind of think of, and you can say, what are some things that you want? Okay, so for example, yo quiero una casa grande. I want a big house. Okay, something like that. All right, now let's look at poder. This O is the stem change. It's going to change to ue, ue. And then we have the ER endings that you guys are familiar with. So yo puedo, tú puedes, usted, él, ella puede, nosotros podemos, and notice it doesn't change here. Vosotros podéis, usted, ellos, ellas pueden. Okay? So, really quick, tell me what are some things you can do. And this is going to be kind of related to our skills and work discussion in the upcoming weeks. We'll be talking about work. So, here's an example. Yo puedo escribir ensayos para la clase. Yo puedo hablar español. And the thing with the verb poder is you're probably going to have to use an infinitive next to it to kind of, speak a little bit more. So we'll actually talk about that in the next video. Okay, so here's a lecture 1 assignment. Complete grammar point 1, pages 231 and 32. 232 is really going to be helpful for you. And then what I did is I kind of created this worksheet on Google Docs. And it's just basically a table for you to really practice writing these verbs. I strongly believe in handwriting things because it really kind of just helps your mind take some, pace yourself the way you're writing so you're going through the stuff better. So you can download this, or you can just, I put it as a PDF if you want to print it, or I also put it as a Word document, so you can go ahead and type in the stuff. This is just a way for you to really just look at the conjugation and stem changes. Okay, and here are the answers from the previous exercise. Go ahead and make sure you got the correct querer verb forms, and if you don't have them or there's an issue, go back and look at the conjugations from the earlier part of the video. And that's it. That concludes lecture 1 for week 4. Thank you.